Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous session, I discussed about adsorption isotherm. In the adsorption isotherm, these are the plots. What is a plot? It is a plot between extent of adsorption versus pressure at a constant temperature. So the graphical representation, or I can say the relationship between extent of adsorption, it is nothing but amount of gas adsorbed on a unit mass of adsorbent with pressure at constant temperature is given by adsorption isotherm. So there are two scientists, namely Freundlich and Langmuir. These two scientists studied the relationship between extent of adsorption with the pressure by keeping temperature constant, or else I can say at various temperatures. And whatever the plots they got, those plots are named in accordingly as Freundlich adsorption isotherm and Langmuir adsorption isotherm. Well, in the last session, we have considered Freundlich adsorption isotherm and its even mathematical form, and even I considered the graphical representation of a Freundlich adsorption isotherm. Well, now in this session we are going to deal about a next concept, that is, what is that? Langmuir adsorption isotherm. So as per our syllabus, it is out of syllabus. Even then, I try to explain it. Well, Langmuir adsorption isotherm. So what it is? So first we deal with the name of the scientist. Say what is the name of scientist? Langmuir. Hence it is called, or by his name it is named as a Langmuir adsorption isotherm. So what it explains? Yes, Langmuir adsorption isotherm explains. Okay, explains well. What about? It is about adsorption at all pressures. ಅಂದ್ರೆ Langmuir adsorption isotherm ಏನು indicate ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? It indicates the adsorption of gaseous molecules at all possible pressures, and it is given by, again here also there is a mathematical form for Langmuir adsorption isotherm. What it is? X by m is equal to AP, A into P divided by 1 plus B into P. Okay, please remember the mathematical form of Langmuir adsorption isotherm. ಏನಿದೆ? X by m. Okay, so what it is? It is the xm x by m is equal to a into p divided by 1 plus b into p. Okay, if I consider, say, the larger circle, ಇದೇನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ large circle ಏನಿದೆ, say it is the adsorbent. Okay, ಇದೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು? It is the, sorry, adsorbent. Okay, the large circle indicates adsorbent. Now here that f ಅಂತ ಏನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, okay, ಈ diagram ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು f ಅಂತ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. What did f? It is indicated with a different color. ಏನಿದೆ ಇದು? F is the fraction of surface area covered. So it is a total surface area. Out of total surface area 1 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡೆ. So total surface area is taken as unity 1, out of which so small fraction of surface is covered by adsorbate molecules. Now, so here what I said, F is the fraction of surface area covered. Now, at this case, what is the pressure maintained? Say P be the pressure of the adsorbate. At P pressure, what is the area covered? F. F is the area covered by adsorbate molecules. And here, say M. M, what it indicates? M indicates mass of the adsorbate. Okay, mass of the adsorbate adsorbed per unit mass of a adsorbent. Please just go through the terms involved here. Say if I consider F is the fraction of surface area covered at a pressure P, at P pressure, and M be the mass of adsorbate, okay, adsorbed per unit mass of a adsorbent. Now if I consider rate of adsorption, okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು rate of adsorption ಅನ್ನು consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so rate of adsorption is directly proportional to, we know that, pressure. Yes or no? Rate of adsorption is directly proportional to pressure. ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಲೇಷನ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ if you increase the pressure, extent of adsorption goes on increases. There is a direct relationship between these two quantities. Therefore, what we say, the rate of adsorption is directly proportional to pressure factor, right? Well, so accordingly, further, if I consider rate of adsorption is also proportional to, so rate of adsorption is also proportional to what we said, surface area ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಿವಾ, surface area of what? Surface area of a adsorbent. ಹೀಗಿಲ್ಲಿ what is the surface area of adsorbent? So already small fraction, that is f fraction of surface is occupied by adsorbate molecule. Now what is the remaining fraction? It is 1 minus f. If I consider total surface area is unity 1, out of which f is already occupied by adsorbate molecules, remaining surface it is 1 minus f. It means now here I can say rate of adsorption is proportional to pressure and the remaining surface. So overall, what I can say, rate of adsorption is directly proportional to product of these two quantities. So what are those? Pressure and surface area of a adsorbent. So mathematically how I can write? So rate of adsorption RA is equal to, proportionality symbol is replaced by a constant Ka. Ka into P into surface area 1 minus F. So, well, it is about rate of adsorption. Now we know that opposite process. What is the opposite process? Opposite of adsorption? It is desorption. Desorption depends on which factor? Desorption depends on only the fraction of surface. It depends on only the fraction of surface which is occupied by adsorbate molecules. Means desorption takes place only from the surface. So similarly, if I consider a rate of desorption, it depends on which factor? It depends on the F, surface area of, okay, surface area of a adsorbent which is occupied by adsorbate molecules. What is that surface area? As we already said, F, fraction of surface area covered by adsorbate. So here if I consider two phenomena, first one what I said, rate of adsorption, it depends on pressure and surface area of a adsorbent. Next, the desorption, rate of desorption, it depends on the F, that is fraction of surface covered by adsorbate molecules. Okay, well, so we got two equations here. Rate of adsorption Ra is equal to Ka into P into the bracket 1 minus F, and rate of desorption is equal to, okay, rate of desorption Rd is equal to Kd into F. Here Kd is a proportionality constant, okay, as like Ka. Well, so now at equilibrium, we know at equilibrium what happens? Two phenomena, or you can say two processes. What are those? Rate of adsorption ಯಾವ್ದದು? RA. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನ, rate of adsorption is equal to rate of desorption. ಅಂದ್ರೆ at equilibrium ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, these two processes are becomes equal. ಅಂದ್ರೆ mathematically ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು? I can equate both the equations. What are those? Say RA ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? RA is equal to K into P into the bracket 1 minus F ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? So Ka into P into the bracket 1 minus F, ಇದೇನಿದು RA is equal to RD, rate of desorption. RD ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿದೆ? KD into F, ಹೌದಾ? Now here if you simplify this, what is the form we get? We get F is equal to Ka into P, okay, Ka into P divided by K into P plus Kd. We get this equation. So F is equal to Ka to P divided by K into P plus Kd. Well, for mono layer coverage, if there is only one layer formation, so what I can say, x by m is equal to K prime into F. So combining equations 1 and 2, what we get? X by m is equal to AP divided by 1 plus BP. So here I can say A is nothing but K into K prime divided by Kd, and B is nothing but Ka divided by Kd. So the values of constants here A and B and these values of constants A and B depends on nature of adsorbate, nature of solid adsorbent, and temperature. Well, so with respect to Langmuir adsorption isotherm, remember the okay statement and mathematical form. Just we will overview both the concept. Say Friendlich adsorption isotherm. What we said, x by m is equal to k into p raised to 1 by n. Okay. Well, and regarding application part, yes, it is applicable in case of both chemism as well as physisorption. And what is important to be remembered for Friendlich adsorption isotherm is it is easy to fit into adsorption data, right? Then coming to the Langmuir adsorption isotherm, what is the mathematical form? X by m is equal to ap divided by 1 plus dp, and even it is also applicable to study chemisorption and physisorption, and useful in analysis of reaction mechanism. So it is regarding summary of adsorption isotherm. Well, now coming to the MCQs, say what is the first one? The equation for Langmuir adsorption isotherm is here. Langmuir adsorption isotherm equation is ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So first one, x by m is equal to ap divided by 1 minus dp. Second, x by m is equal to bp divided by 1 plus ap. Third, x by m is equal to ap divided by 1 plus bp. Then last one, none of these. ಯಾವುದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? Yes, it is x by m. X by m is equal to ap divided by 1 plus bp. It is the right. Well, and regarding if I consider Friendlich gain ನೆನ್ಪಿಡೋದು x by m is equal to k into p raised to 1 by n. Well, next regarding applications of a adsorption, where it is applicable. Yes, adsorption has various applications in the different fields. Well, the phenomenon of adsorption finds a number of applications. Some of them are, well, I can list out here. Production of high vacuum. So for example, if I consider silica gel, silica, or even I can say alumina. Okay, alumina gel. ಏನಿದ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ? I hope you have seen here various electronic devices, or you can say electronic goods, or even some materials during parcel. What they will do is usually the leather items. They are packed with a packet filled with silica. ಹೌದಾ? If I see the package, a packing ನಾನು open ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ usually in what type of packings the items, leather items or some electronic devices, when they are packed or sealed in a closed box, that box contains a small packet of silica ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಹೌದಾ? ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಶೂಸ್, ಲೆದರ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ನೀವು ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಣ್ಣ ಬೀಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ವೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬೀಡ್ಸ್, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಿಲಿಕಾ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೌದಾ? Yes, what is this? What is the use of? Why they are using that silica packet? Or what is the use of silica packet means? Yes, we know that whenever silica is placed, what happens? The moisture content, whatever the moisture content present in that environment, that moisture content will be absorbed by silica beds. Means all moisture content, water droplets will go and occupy the silica surface, so that surface, or I can say that region becomes free from moisture content. Now here, as like this, even if you use charcoal or some other solid adsorbents, what happens? The gaseous molecules also, along with moisture, even gaseous molecules also get adsorbed on the surface of a adsorbent. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು adsorbent, suitable adsorbent ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, okay, adsorbent ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? We know the concept, gaseous molecules will be adsorbed on its surface. ಈಗ adsorb ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? Yes, if gaseous molecules are adsorbed, one can able to create vacuum. So in various chemical reactions, in the production of high vacuum, Okay, high vacuum means all gases molecules must be removed from that environment. It can be done with the help of adsorbents, or you can see the phenomenon called adsorption. So it becomes the application. So the first application, what you can say, production of high vacuum. So yes, to remove the traces of air by adsorbent, to remove the traces of air by adsorbent like charcoal to create high vacuum in a vessel can be done. So it is the application of adsorption. Well, now second one, in the preparation of gas mask. Yes, in the period of COVID, you all usually aware about mask, right? So in a mask there will be layers. When you analyze it, when you tear it out, or else we can analyze, okay, is made up of many layers. ಆ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಒಂದೇ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದಾಗೂ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಶಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಶಾಪ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್, ನೀವು ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 6 ಲೇಯರ್ 12 ಲೇಯರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು N95 ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಯು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ಸ್, N95 ಮಾಸ್ಕ್, N65 ಆಸ್ ಲೈಕ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ 6 ಲೇಯರ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಹೀಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಏನಿದು ಅರ್ಥ, ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್. ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಈಗ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಮಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಿಮೂವ್. ಓಕೆ, ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ, ಎಕ್ಸಸ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ, ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಟು ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದ effect of dust on individuals, to avoid the effect of dust on individual, what they will do, they are going to wear gas mask. Or ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಮೇಲ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ವಿಯರ್ ಎ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್, ಥರ್ಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್, ಇದೊಂದು ಥರ್ಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 3 ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್, ಇದು ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಲೇಯರ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಒನ್, ರೈಟ್? middle. So this middle layer is filled with charcoal. ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಚಾರ್ಕೋಲ್ ಇಂದ ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ say air, whenever air enters, okay, whenever air enters, say if at all air contains poisonous gases like sulfur dioxide, okay, sulfur monoxide, ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಪಾಯ್ಸನಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೋಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ರೆಡಿಲಿ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ಡ್. ಆ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಈ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲೇಯರ್, ಆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರೋ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಫ್ರಾಮ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯ್ಸನಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ it is very necessary to wear a gas mask. ಈ gas mask ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, yes, it is made up of many layers, so the poisonous gases are trap ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ, yes, the process involved will be adsorption. okay, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ gaseous molecules ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, that is poisonous gaseous molecules will be adsorbed on that charcoal surface, so that gas whatever comes out of that layer, last layer, will be free from poisonous gases. So here phenomenon involved is adsorption, therefore it becomes the application of a adsorption. That is second application is gas mask. say ಈಗ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, just will overview it. ಏನು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, say gas mask, a device which consists of activated charcoal, or you can say mixture of adsorbents. Okay, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ activated charcoal ಇರಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ it may be mixture of adsorbent. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, usually used for breathing in coal miners to adsorb poisonous gases. ಅಂದ್ರೆ usually ಎಲ್ಲಿ, I said generally mining, ಯಾವ mining, particularly coal mining. ಓಕೆ. ಇನ್ ಕೋಲ್ ಮೈನರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋಲ್ ಏನು ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಎ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್. ಯಾಕೆ? ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಕೋಲ್ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಲೀಸಿಂಗ್ poisonous gases. If they inhale that poisonous gas, it is lethal to them. To avoid that, they are going a gas mask. So it is the application of a adsorption. Well, now coming to the third one, that is controlling of humidity. That is control of humidity. ಏನಿದು humidity ಅಂದ್ರೆ humidity is nothing but I can say moisture. ಹೌದಾ? ಮಾಯಿಶ್ಚರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಫರ್ದರ್ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾಯಿಶ್ಚರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ವಾಟರ್, ರೈಟ್? ವಾಟರ್ ವೇಪರ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಹ್ಯೂಮಿಡಿಟಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹ್ಯೂಮಿಡಿಟಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು? ಎಸ್. ಸೊ ಸಿಲಿಕಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಾ ಜೆಲ್, ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಟೂ ವೆಲ್ ನಾನ್ adsorbents. What are those? Silica and alumina gel are used as adsorbent for removing moisture and to control the humidity. A moisture ತೆಗೆಯಕ್ಕೆ as well as to control the humidity, silica and alumina gels are used. Alumina, or I can say aluminum gels are used. ಯಾಕೆ? What is the point? Is it necessary? Yes, it is necessary. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ since there are many chemical reactions which are sensitive to moisture content. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, that nature of product will be different in presence and absence of moisture. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಯಿಶ್ಚರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, or else even there is a chances of hydrolysis. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, there may be chances of hydrolysis of product form takes place. To avoid this, to avoid hydrolysis of product formed during a chemical reaction, it is necessary to conduct a reaction which is free from moisture content. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮಾಯಿಶ್ಚರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರದೇನೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ that reaction content is treated with either silica or aluminum gel, so that what happens, entire moisture content will be absorbed by these two quantities, that is silica or alumina gel. So these are removed, then reaction is carried out. So that overall what I can say, to control the humidity, it is necessary to use silica or alumina gel. Silica or alumina gel is used. So the phenomenon involved is adsorption. Well, coming to the next one, removal of coloring matter from solution. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಿದೆ, removal of coloring matter ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನು coloring matter? So usually if I consider one example ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಶುಗರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ರಾ ಶುಗರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ರಾ ಶುಗರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಕಲರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್. ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆರ್ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋಯಿಶ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್. ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾ ಶುಗರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಎಸ್, ದಟ್ ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೀಟೆಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ. ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗದೇ ಇರುವಂತ ವಸ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ವೆಲ್, ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಹೇಗೆ ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಎಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್ ದೇರ್, ಸೆ ರಾ ಶುಗರ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಓಕೆ, ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೀಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್, ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಚಾರ್ಕೋಲ್ ಅಂತಿದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? So when raw sugar solution is treated with activated charcoal, what happens? When we filter it, the filtrate becomes colorless. ಹೌದಾ? Before it is a colored one. ಯಾವ ಕಲರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು? It is usually a brown color. Usually it is a brown colored solution. ಈಗ raw sugar solution ನಾನು, when it is treated with activated charcoal and is filtered, the filtrate becomes colorless. Colorless ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that brown color is gone. Brown color is nothing but it is a coloring matter, or I can say it is a impurity. Impurity will be removed here. ಈ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿನ ನಾವು ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ತೆಗೆದ್ವಿ? ಬೈ ಟ್ರೀಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಚಾರ್ಕೋಲ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಚಾರ್ಕೋಲ್ ಜೊತೆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದಾಕ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ದಟ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಗೋಸ್, ಹೌ ದಟ್ impurities are goes is nothing but here these impurities are get adsorbed. ಅವೇನಾಗ್ತವೆ, these impurity coloring matters are get adsorbed on charcoal, right? So on filtration, those molecules will be removed, coloring matter will be removed from sugar particles. So it is also the application of a adsorption itself. So what we are saying, removal of coloring matter from solutions. Well, next one, separation of inert gases. ಈಗ inert gases ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಿಯಾನ್, ಆರ್ಗಾನ್, ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟಾನ್, xenon and radon, ರೈಟ್? ಇದು ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈಗ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ನೇಚರ್, ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್, ಈಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ್ದು, ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು? ಫ್ರಾಮ್ ಹೀಲಿಯಂ, ನಿಯಾನ್, argon, krypton and xenon and radon. So these are the noble gases. ಈಗ ಈ noble gases ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? We have to separate them. ಯಾವ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಂತೇವೆ? What is the basis of separation of noble gases? Means it is based on extent of adsorption. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, on what basis noble gases can be separated means it is based on extent of adsorption. Since these gases do not adsorb to the same extent, so based on this principle, yes, it is able to separate the mixture of inert gases into individual gases is also possible. ಹಾಗಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? It becomes the application of a adsorption. ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Production of high vacuum, okay, gas mass, in the preparation of gas mass, controlling the humidity, removal of coloring matter and separation of inert gases. These are the applications of a adsorption. Okay, well, now if I consider one more, in heterogeneous catalysis. ಈಗ ನಾವು catalysis ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. there will be two types. catalysis ಅಂದ್ರೆ is a phenomenon. catalysis ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನಿದೆ, it is a phenomenon ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. phenomenon in which rate of a reaction is influenced by presence of a catalyst. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿದೆ, rate of a reaction is influenced by presence of catalyst ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ catalysis ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್. ನಾವು ಇನ್ ಹೆಟ್ರೋಜಿನಸ್ catalysis. ಏನಿದೆ ಹೆಟ್ರೋಜಿನಸ್? ಹೋಮೋ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ. ಹೋಮೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೇಮು, ಹೆಟ್ರೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, so adsorption of reactants on solid surface of a catalyst increases the rate of a reaction. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಿದೆ, adsorption of reactants on solid surface of a catalyst increases the rate of a reaction. Example ಒಂದು ಹೇಳೋಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೋನಿಯಾ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಐರನ್ catalyst. ಈಗ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೋನಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಓಕೆ, N2 plus 3H2 hydrogen. These are the reactants. There will be formation of a ammonia. This is a simple, or I can say balanced equation involved for manufacture of ammonia. Okay, the reaction. What are the reactants here? Nitrogen and hydrogen. So here finely divided iron. Finely divided iron is used as a catalyst. Finely divided iron is used as a catalyst. See, reactants are gases. All reactants are present in gaseous state. Okay, and what about catalyst? Catalyst is present in a solid state. Andre, now when we come to physical state of all reactants and catalyst, if they are present in different phase, then it is named as a heterogeneous catalysis. ಇಲ್ಲಿ catalyst use ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ, so the process is called catalysis. ಇದು homogeneous ಮತ್ತೆ heterogeneous. ಯಾವ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ catalyst. ಇಫ್ ಆಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ catalyst ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಫೇಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಹೋಮೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ catalyst if they are present in same phase, then it is called homo. If all reactants or catalyst are present in more than one phase, then it is called hetero. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹೋಮೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ catalyst ಒಂದೇ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಮೋಜೀನಿಯಸ್ catalysis ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಹೆಟರೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? if all reactants and catalysts are present in more than one phase, then it is called heterogeneous catalysis. So in heterogeneous catalysis, the absorption of reactant on solid surface increases the rate of a reaction. So in heterogeneous catalysis alli kuda illi enagutte reactant molecules will be adsorbed on surface of a catalyst. So phenomenon involved is absorption, therefore it is also the application. And one more example ಏನಿದು, use of finely divided nickel in the manufacture of hydrogenation of oils ಅಥವಾ ವನಸ್ಪತಿ ಘೀ ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ವೆಲ್, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಇನ್ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇನ್ ಕ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇದು, ಹೌ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್, ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ದ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ adsorption ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, isn't it? Say how adsorption is applicable in curing diseases. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ವೆಲ್, ನೌ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಸೇ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ವಿ ಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ವಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಹೇಗೆ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? Yes, how we treat the diseases? By giving medicines. ಹೌದಾ, ನಾವು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಏನು ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್? ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕೊಲಾಯ್ಡಲ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಈ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೊಲಾಯ್ಡಲ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಹಿಯರ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಎನ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಬೈ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಓರಲಿ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು, ಐದರ್ ವಿ ಗಿವ್ ಓರಲಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಇವನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಇಂಟ್ರಾವೇನಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಂಟ್ರಾವೇನಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರಾವೇನಸ್. ಓರಲ್ ಆಗಿನೂ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಸಿರಪ್ಸ್, ಆರ್ ಇವನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾವೇನಸ್ಲಿ. ಸಲೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರಾವೇನಸ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. When we give these, okay, when we give medicines to an individual suffering from disease, what happens? That medicine spread throughout our body. A medicine ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮ entire body spread ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now they find the disease causing agents. ಅವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ? They find the disease causing agents. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತವೆ? They reach their targets. They search their targets and reach there. Now they interact. Medicine molecules act as a adsorbent. ಅವು ಏನಾಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ? They act as a adsorbent, and those disease causing agents they act as a adsorbates. ಇವೇನಾಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ? They act as a adsorbates. So now what happens? Once they come in contact with one another, if targets ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, that is disease causing agents. These disease causing agents, when they come in contact with the medicine molecules, what is the phenomenon involved? There involves a adsorption. ಎರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Adsorption ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So once adsorption takes place, what happens? Their activity will be nullified. Those disease causing agents activity will be nullified, so that individual becomes free from that disease. Therefore we say in curing diseases also the phenomenon involved is adsorption ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So it is the application. And next ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಿದೆ, in froth flotation process ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. Froth flotation process usually is one of the purification technique. ಈ froth flotation process ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿದು, it is one of the purification technique. ಏನು ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? Metals are get purified with the help of froth flotation technique. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ the ores are get purified with the help of froth flotation technique. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, say impure ore is mixed with the water and oil. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, impure ore is mixed with the water and ore. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ it comes in the general principles and techniques. ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ, there is a chapter named general principles and processes or isolation of elements ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. In that chapter we study about froth flotation process. Now just I will brief out. Remember that impure ore, okay, impure ore is mixed with water and oil, and this mixture, the entire mixture is agitated. Iದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ is agitated is stirred vigorously. On stirring, what happens? Impurities are wetted by water molecules, while ore particles are wetted by oil particles. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there will be impurities and ore particles. ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? is stirred, is agitated vigorously. On agitation, what happens? Those impurities, you can say mud particles, generally impurities are wetted by water molecules, while ore particles are wetted by oil molecules. So what happens? There will be formation of two layers, or you can say there will be formation of a froth. A froth ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Froth will be formed on the top of the liquid, right? A froth formation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಬುರುಗು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ froth ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬುರುಗು ಅದು. On agitation, what happens? Froth will be formed. Froth is formed by oil plus ore. ಅಂದ್ರೆ oil surface ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The surface of oil droplets are absorbed by ore particles. ಈಗ ಇದೊಂದು oil droplet ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ its surface is get absorbed by ore particles. Okay, so what about lower liquid? It is water. It contains water plus impurities. It contains water plus impurities. The lower layer will be formed by water and impurities. Per layer it contains froth which carries ore. ಈಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಈಗ ಫ್ಲೋಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸಿನ್ಸ್ froth floats over the liquid, ಅದು ಮೇಲೆ ತೇಲುತ್ತಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಫ್ಲೋಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Now this froth is collected separately. A froth ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? is collected in a separate chamber and is subjected for evaporation. That entire froth is collected, and on evaporation, what happens? Here oil get vaporizes, leaving behind ore particles. Ore particle ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, but oil is get evaporated. So is the process involved. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ? What is the concept we should look at? So here the oil ore particles are get adsorbed on a oil particle. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು in froth flotation process, what is the principle involved? Adsorption of ore particles on oil particles. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? So froth flotation process also becomes the application of a adsorption. Well, and the last one, what we said, adsorption indicators. So well, overall ನಾವು ಈ adsorption indicator ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, say surface of certain precipitates such as silver halide have the property of absorbing some dyes like eosin, fluorescein, okay, thereby producing a characteristic color at the end point. ಈಗ adsorption indicator ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದೀವಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು, adsorption indicators says the surface of a certain precipitate during ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು chemical reaction ಅಲ್ಲಿ precipitate form ಆಯಿತು. precipitate, once precipitate form means is nothing but reaction get completed. How to notice that completion of a reaction means, yes, whatever the precipitate formed, it will be silver halide. That silver halide have a property of adsorbing some dyes. A precipitate in form ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, it has a property of absorbing dyes like eosin, fluorescein. Thereby they produces a characteristic color at the end point. Okay, well, so it is regarding adsorption indicators. Even in the, we can say, chromatographic analysis also, so there will be adsorption takes place. So with this I am going to discuss completing about that applications of adsorption. Now coming to the MCQs, what is the first one? Adsorption is used in production of high vacuum, gas mask, third control of humidity, all of these. Yes, adsorption is applicable in all these processes, so option D is correct. Okay, well, so with this I am going to conclude about this session. Again in the next session we discuss some other concept. Okay, thank you.